Hello, everybody. We're the Geeks and the Giants. I am Enzo. It's my forever co-host John, and we're continuing our celebrated film lineup with No Country for Old Men, since one of the Coen brothers has a movie next month. And today we talk about their epic cat and mouse game between Llewellyn and Anton Sugar. Tried to do this years ago, but we just weren't feeling it. But now the time
I
is
think it
right.
was last year. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, again, same with The Godfather. Were you a kid when you saw this, or were you much older?
I was much older when I saw this because, like, I do remember seeing clips of, like, Anton Sugar,
Yeah.
like, doing that, like, compressor gun thing
Yeah.
to somebody's head. And I was just like, oh, that's freaky. Never saw it, like, years later until, like, I heard about, like, No Country for Old Men. I was like, oh, that's the scene. That's where that thing's from.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that, like, Anton Sugar, played by
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem. By the way, he's in the F1 movie, which I just saw a few days ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, plays him perfectly. Like, I love it that there are people who are like, hey, we did a rundown of, like, psychopaths in movies, and they're like, oh, how about that, Christian Bale with that one movie, American Psycho. They're like, yeah, but it's not realistic. Oh, how about Norman Bates? Yeah, but it's not realistic. How about Anton Sugar? Yeah, that's him. That's a real depiction of a psychopath
Yeah.
in movies.
Yeah. I think I got recommended this movie by Watch Mojo because of that scene of the what's the most you ever lost in a coin toss, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that movie?
Oh, for me, it was the one where it's like, did you see me? I was like, I've been like, no.
No.
Who am I even talking to? Like,
Yeah. But yeah, I like the fact that this is such a small town, and it seems like so small scale when you think about it. But like, to Llewellyn and Anton Sugar, the stakes are high because Anton Sugar has to retrieve the money that Llewellyn stole. Well, not really stole, but he found this massacre, and he's like, "Oh, cool, 2 million. When will I see this every day?"
Lucky Llewellyn. I'm just like, not gonna lie, I would have done the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh, I don't care about the dead bodies. All right, I'm taking this thing with me. But yeah, he does get chased by, I guess, like a cartel.
Yeah.
Not sure. Yeah,
Mm.
but just a mob.
Yeah. And he's built like a tank because he falls down, gets shot, and then he gets chased by a dog. And like, he's so calm when the pit bull is charging him. Like, I don't know how he's so calm when he's taking so much damage. I'm like,
I love every tense moment of this. Like, yeah, like he falls into a river, but before he goes into the river, he gets peppered with, like,
shotgun.
bird shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just bird shot, which is like, oh, it doesn't really, like, remove a limb, but
Yeah.
like, but it leaves, like, marks. But
Yeah, they weren't intending to harm him until later on to like interrogate him.
yeah, but like, I love that scene where I hated that they killed a dog, but I'm like, him like clearing the gun first, like making sure it's dry, and then he loads it, and then like on the last second he shoots. I was like, oh, so it's this kind of movie.
Yeah. I also love how that scene when he's like, "How much have you? What's the most you've ever lost in a coin toss?" Is just conveying to the audience how much of a psychopath he is. It's like there's no real purpose of him being like mean to this clerk. He's just for us to be like, oh god, he's willing to do anything to anyone. And
Yeah.
Javier Bardem is so good in the scene. I'm like, I believe that he's gonna snap this dude's neck if he answers wrong, or if he chooses tails instead of heads. But yeah, also on their trail is Tommy Lee Jones, this almost retired officer who's just like, I think I'm over my head on this. I don't think this is for my health. I should be relaxing somewhere in the porch. And like,
Yeah, he is the old man in this old country.
in this country,
In this
with,
country, he is the old man.
filled with violence, he's the titular old man. But like, I do like this cat and mouse game. Like, every time Llewellyn is like one step ahead, it feels like Anton Sugar is like literally right behind him, and you're like,
Yeah.
shit.
I get it that like Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, they don't talk.
Yeah.
They just walk slowly towards you, but you know that they're like an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
That's kind of the same with Javier Bardem, but this time you know he's smart. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying that Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees aren't smart. It's just that, like, you know he's capable. You know he can blend in very well. And I'm just like, I hated that, like, when, say, Luella's just like in a little apartment or like hotel. Like he has to watch out if like feet come by his door.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh fuck. And like shit's just so intense and just like, is he gonna come in?
Like the only way you'll know that it's him is if your lock just gets blown out the doorknob and you're like, that's odd, and then you get shot. You're like, oh, should have been smarter.
I love his like shotgun with like a huge suppressor.
Yeah.
And everybody's like bodies when they would get shot, they would just like like they absolutely fly. I was just like, oh my god.
I love the one scene when he takes out cartel members and then there's a guy hiding behind the shower and then he's like asks him a question and he can't speak English and she's like, close this curtain.
Oh. I love how his gun sounds too. It's just poof.
Yeah.
I'm like, alright, and you just see blood splatter.
Yeah.
I was like, that was cool. And also, like, he takes off his shoe. You know, he's very methodical. He knows that, you know, big cowboy shoes make too much sound. So he just goes in his socks. I was like, man, this guy's scary.
Yeah. I love the hotel chase scene when Llewellyn's in a more fancy hotel and he's just waiting for Anton Chigurh and then the knob just hits him in the chest and he's like, ow. Oh shit, it's him.
He gets like you see a shotgun blast come through the door, he immediately goes for the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the most intense scene of the entire movie in my opinion, because it was such a slow, like, build up.
Yeah.
But once it happens, you're just like, is Josh Brolin gonna die?
Right? Like, this scene also shows that Anton Chigurh, if you're smart enough, you can land a hit. And then that's what Josh Brolin does. But, like, it takes so much effort just to land a hit. I'd be like, you know what? I was stupid enough to take $2 million from the cartel. I think I already made my grave. I think I'll just accept my fate for this man.
I bit off too much for that I could chew.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah. But thankfully, Josh Brolin was able to escape. But, yeah, he got fucked up.
Yeah.
like the man's absolutely just like bloody all over. One dude tries to rip him off too, as he just asks him for his jacket.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, the dude's bleeding out. Just give it.
Right. The fact that they don't ever come face to face or like have a conversation until the phone scene, when Anton Chigurh is like, you know what's gonna happen? It's gonna be inevitable. And Josh Brolin's like, I'm gonna outsmart you every single step of the way. And then when he gets back to the United States, is the most controversial scene because they never have a final showdown. He just gets taken out by the cartel, and you're like, what?
Yeah. So like, it's just like the exact same scene.
Yeah.
At the start of the movie with Josh Brolin, where you walk into just a massacre and just like, oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah. Right.
You know. And like, yeah, it is freaky. Like, yeah, the entire time he had like a tracker on him.
Yeah.
Well, inside the money, but this time like he took it out, so it was a little bit harder for Javier Bardem's character to like track him down. But I just wish that there was.
Right.
But I guess it's a tasteful choice.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it either. You know.
Like he messed with the wrong people, and eventually they would have gotten to him anyway. You're like, you know what? I kind of accept that. Like, it wasn't just Javier Bardem after him. It was that particular cartel. I'm like, yeah, they would have found you either way since they are crafty like that. But yeah, I do. A part of me is like, I wish there was like one more shootout between him and Anton Chigurh. But
or like if they weren't gonna show it, as a personal preference, like I wish it was Javier Bardem who got to him. Like, you see the traces, like the lock being blown out or like something, and like Josh Brolin's body's just on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, that like, yeah, like Anton Chigurh came in, took
Yeah.
care of business, and got out.
Yeah, yeah. There's like one last tense scene when Tommy Lee Jones like tries to search the apartment and Anton Chigurh's like next door. You're like, I don't hurt Tommy Lee Jones, man. He's about to retire.
I love that scene because like Tommy Lee Jones is like taking a chance,
Yeah,
and as he like opens the door, nobody's there,
yeah,
and you just see the coin on heads.
yeah,
So it's kind of like him tossing the coin flip.
yeah,
And I was like, "Hey, God!"
yeah.
By the way, I love this scene where Anton Chigurh just gets gets caught by the cops,
Yeah,
goes to the police station, finds a way to escape, and just chokes out one of the cops.
yeah,
And you just see the insane smile that he has. I was
yeah. Like the amount of
Yep.
force it takes to do that to someone's neck with like the links of a cuffs. You're like, this guy's insane, and you see it in his eyes. You're like, fuck, this guy's crazy. He's fucking crazy,
Ye-
man.
yeah, I love it. I love it. They even take care of Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah.
And what was that company, by the way?
I have no idea, but like he obviously destroyed it from the inside because he shot his boss. And you're like, I guess that's the end of that.
I was wondering. I was like, how the hell did you get up? Like, God knows how many floors.
Right? I know
To-
with a shotgun in hand, and nobody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Unless your reputation precedes you, and you're like, let's not fuck with Anton Chigurh. I want to live today. We're not,
Yeah.
cannon fodder from John Wick. We're smarter than that. I do like the last bit of movie where it's an allegory for the past, catching up to the future, and how time just, if you're not careful, time will just slip on by without you ever blinking an eye, and you're like, oh, interesting. That's why Tommy Jones is just stuck here, while things keep moving faster and forward in terms of like crimes and like things he's seen. She's just like, I'm still where my father was, like in my mind. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I love that like little bit of dialogue where he was like he outlived his dad by 20 years.
Yeah,
So to him, in his mind, he is a much younger man, and that is a very daunting thing to
yeah,
think of. You know,
yeah,
like once you reach past your father's like death age, I'm like, but like, yeah, we also get like a final scene with Luella's like partner, and I
Oh.
felt so bad
oh yeah,
because like she just lost her husband, and then now she lost her mom. As soon as she gets back from the funeral, Anton Chigurh is there
Yeah.
for her, and just like, hey, yeah. Anyway, pick a side of the coin.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude.
I don't think she makes it out because he checks his shoes at the
No.
end. I was like, oh,
He doesn't. Like she refused to play it, which is an automatic like
you lose.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I like little sign. They don't show that. Oh, there's a gunshot out of nowhere, or
Yeah.
a scene where he like strangles her. Nothing. It's just that he comes out of the house, checks his shoes because the guy. He doesn't like blood on him.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
that's cold. And then he gets into a car accident, which kind of like I did see like people like philosophy on it. It was like, oh, it shows that Anton Chigurh, like it showed like the character Anton Chigurh that like even chance can hit him.
Yeah.
He's not just the one who dictates it. And I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And like that's where the movie leaves off with him escaping and Tommy Lee Jones talking about time. You're like, damn, what a good movie.
It was.
Yeah. One of those dark movies that I don't mind watching again, actually. I'd be like, I can pop it
I
on
agree.
anytime.
I agree. I like this one. I'm like, I kind of have fun with this one.
Yeah.
Like, I just noticed now that like, this entire movie did not have a soundtrack.
Yeah. It's just quiet, eerie quiet.
Yeah, this is like my third time watching it, and I'm just like, huh. I
Right?
just noticed there's not a single soundtrack. It's just wind.
Yeah. But yeah, what would you rate No Country for Old Men?
I'll rate No Country for Old Men a 9 out of 10. It is a really fucking good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best ones that came out of like
Coen
the
Brothers.
2010s.
Yeah.
Well, the 2010s. Like, I'd say it's like up there
Yeah.
because this movie is intense. It subverts expectations from time to time, and it gave us a very iconic villain, which is Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem, and I loved every minute. Every time he would be on screen, I would be very excited
Yeah.
to just like hear a bit of dialogue or see him clear a room. I'm just like I get scared but also fascinated by this character.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin did an amazing job, even though like he gets taken out maybe quarter of the way of the movie, even though there's more movie afterwards. Tommy Lee Jones also did a great job. But it's really Javier Bardem who really stole the show
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this entire movie.
Um.
It's a bit of a thriller. It's a bit of a like as you said, cat and mouse, and I really recommend this to anyone who loves film
Yeah.
and has not tried it yet. Really try No Country for Old Men.
Yeah. I'll give this a 9 out of 10 as well. I do love the cast and the characters, and it's just one of those standalone movies that I'm like, thank God nobody has ever tried to do a sequel to, because some movies just don't need it. Yeah, I agree. That was the third time too where I'm like, there's no music in this movie. Interesting. Yeah, one of the Coen's best, and like I'm glad they still used Josh Brolin for like True Grit with Haley Steinfeld in her first movie, because I do like that western. I saw it a couple of days ago again. I was like, oh, cool. I like this movie. I really do. Same with this movie.
Like what they did to the horse.
Oh yeah. Anyway, but yeah, great action, great suspense. Like until the very end, you're still suspenseful with for Llewellyn's wife and Anton Chigurh. Were like, oh, she refused. What's gonna happen? Edit scene to like him checking his shoes. You're like, oh, okay, that's my answer.
Even like Tommy Lee Jones with his wife, like sitting at breakfast. I was like, I'm waiting for this motherfucker to just come out of nowhere and sit down with, like, with what's his name, Bell.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. Yeah, the fact that Tommy Lee Jones is the only one who outsmarted him when he sees how not sloppy, but like the mistakes he leaves behind, like the pitcher of milk and like the knobless, like the lockless doors that show signs that someone crafty has entered this apartment. And if Tom Lee Jones was fast enough, maybe he would have caught it. Have he survived? I have no idea. Probably not, if I'm being realistic. But yeah, great movie. And to the audience watching, what's your favorite Coen Brothers movie? Is it this? Is it Fargo? Is it True Grit? Is it The Big Lebowski? Whatever it may be, please comment down below. If you want to see more of us, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok. Spotify to hear us on the go, TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. And the video I'm Zoda's Voices on TikTok and Answolf on Letterboxd. Where can they find you?
You can find me at JomJu on Instagram and this morning.
And until the next one, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.